Old Joe is quite literally doing the exact opposite of securing the border. Do you remember the miles and miles of border wall material that Donald Trump had in place, ready to go, ready to be built, ready to be installed? Well, that same massive beams that Joe Biden and the eco-friendly Democrats, they let them rot into the earth and the ground in spite, simply spiting Donald Trump for the past 4 years. Well, with the return of Donald Trump on the horizon, Biden has started auctioning off this wildly expensive material. It's thick steel. I've felt it before. I've been right at that border wall. The miles that they've built, massive, 30, 40 feet high, thick ass steel, really dense, expensive. And get this. Some of these beams could be tens of thousands of dollars. They're selling for $5 freaking dollars. $5. First of all, wasn't it our tax dollars that paid for these materials in the first place? Why the hell should anyone have to spend any more money to buy it back? More importantly, why on earth is it even for sale? Trump's coming back. Let him use it to continue the wall. This is the example, the latest example of how Joe Biden and Barack Obama recklessly abusing their power during the final term of their terms, Obama 3.0. Remarkably enough, illegal aliens could go ahead and purchase that material from the government. Let that sink in. The people who were trying to keep out, or Mexico for that matter, can now go online and purchase the materials that were supposed to be used to keep out the Mexicans and others from coming across that southern border. Good job, Joe. Great job, Barack. Thanks again. If Biden thinks that this is going to stop Trump from building that wall, he should really, really get the hell out of the way already. Moving on. Donald Trump was just named Time Magazine's Person of the Year. We told you about that yesterday. Adding another front page feature to his massive collection. Of course, anytime Trump does something well or receives credit or praise of any kind, the left, the folks over at MSNBC, Joyless Joy Reid starts to hyperventilate before going into an illiterate, incomprehensible rant. Just take a listen to the very latest.
Better or for worse is not much of a ringing endorsement, and we all know which one Trump falls under. And let's remember who else has been given this title in years past in the same category: Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, Ayatollah Khomeini, and Vladimir Putin. In fact, Stalin won the distinction twice, just like Trump.
Joy, did you really just do that? Did you really just say because Trump was on Time Magazine's cover, you compared him to Adolf Hitler again? Joy, I got a news flash for you. 2008 and 2012, there's a guy named Barack Hussein Obama. Well, he was Time Magazine's Person of the Year. So I guess that means we should be comparing Barack Obama to Joseph Stalin too, Joy? Is that right? Bill Clinton also won it twice. And now he's begging old Joe to pardon his criminal wife. Where are the dictator comparisons there, Joyless? Joy's worthless rants comparing Trump to dictators hold no weight. In fact, Time Magazine itself holds no weight, especially after all the BS they did to prop up Kamala Harris back in August. Remind me again, how did that work out? And by the way, we're showing a picture of Kamala Harris proudly on the cover of Time Magazine. I want to flash back quickly to 2006. There's a woman named Crystal Magnum, young woman at the time who called herself an exotic dancer. This is the young woman that accused 3 Duke lacrosse players of rape. The story had the nation in a chokehold. It was everywhere. I remember this. Well, guess what she just admitted to?
And I testified falsely against them by saying that they raped me when they didn't. And that was wrong.
Wow, folks. Wow. Now she's facing other charges, but she really should spend the rest of her life in prison. I doubt she understands how many lives were ruined because of her malicious lie. Those kids who were accused at the time, in fact, they had to drop out of school. Some went back. They probably had an impossible time to get jobs, probably ruined their lives forever. And now, how many years later, 30, 40 years later, she's now saying she lied, she made it all up. Wow. They had their reputations completely destroyed, and they lost the trust of their friends and families. They've lived 20 years in shame because the court of public opinion made them out to be monsters and convicted them. They slammed the door on those kids. 2006 Duke men's lacrosse season was canceled entirely. The team's head coach, Mike Pressler, had to go home and tell his wife and kids he was no longer employed. He got tossed. I'm all for holding predators accountable, but this is an issue of cancel culture. It may have been the original cancel culture. If you don't check your facts, lives can be destroyed forever. Should she face jail time? Of course she should, absolutely. I doubt she may not get any additional jail time for that, though. It's 20 years ago. We're in a different world now, right? She's facing other charges. I hope she gets thrown in jail for the rest of her life. She's a black woman who for years had the support of the corrupt media. I bet anything. By the way, you know who else did this? Al Sharpton did this. Al freaking Sharpton did this he brought some woman up who claimed to be raped by a Jewish kid. You remember this? In Brooklyn? That was a lie, too. What happens? Al's just a left-wing media star. He's got a show on MSNBC. This is such a corrupt media. I bet anything that this woman's going to end up writing a book and making a lot of money off her courageous honesty. Sincerely. Pound sand, lady. Speaking of mainstream media darlings, listen to Cori Bush. Remember her, the Squadster? Well, she reflects on her record of accomplishments.
You for bringing all of yourself to Congress. Thank you for how you help communities from Detroit to Minneapolis to Pittsburgh to Boston to the Bronx to Chicago to Puerto Rico, Central America to Somalia to Haiti to Palestine and everywhere in between.
Do you now see why she was out? Remember her? She was during the Black Lives Matter defund the police push. Cori Bush was front and center on that. She was the main squadster who was saying defund the police. And then we found out she was spending $70,000 a year on her private security, armed security. And when they asked her about it, she said, do you want me to die? That's a great soundbite. I wish we had that. I mean, seriously, Central America, Haiti, Somalia, she talks about, Palestine. None of those sound like members of the United States that I've heard of. Maybe Canada soon, but she didn't mention Canada. She's citing all of the work that she has done for everyone except the people who elected her in Missouri. No wonder you got booted, Cori Bush. She strikes me as another future author who'll be promoting a new book, a New York Times bestseller, no doubt, on mainstream networks. I can see the CNN headlines now. Cori Bush writes a jarring tell-all exposing her tireless work for communities in need. Not in America, though. Once again, pound sand, lady, and don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Let's end with a little bit of a laugh, shall we? The Trump Time magazine cover has liberals all over the place shaving their blue hair, crying in the fetal positions. Listen to this little rant from another Trump derangement victim.
Well, Time magazine, just when you thought the media couldn't get any worse, you guys said, hold my beer. In a year where we had Taylor Swift, Kamala Harris, and Giselle Pichot, you chose the most repugnant, vile human being to ever walk the earth as your person of the year. At least half of America, and probably most of the world, is absolutely disgusted. I hope you go out of business.
These liberals are losing their freaking minds. The guy, Trump, survived 2 assassination attempts, 1 through the year, almost wiped him out. He won an election. He beat a weaponized justice system against him. He even worked at McDonald's. And you would rather see some girl who sings about her terrible choices in men on the cover of Time. God bless you guys. Good luck with that. And why the hell would Kamala Harris be on any cover at all? The person of the year gets the nod, not the biggest loser.